Following confirmation bias, there is another common obstacle to problem solving, and this is known as fixation. Fixation is defined as the inability to see a problem from a new perspective by employing a different mental set. So I'm going to give you two examples which show fixation at work, so hopefully you can better understand the concept. Now, in the first example, what we have is an American plane which is currently carrying Canadian passengers, and it ends up crashing in international waters. And so the big question here is, in this situation, where do you bury the survivors? Now, some of y'all might have heard this before, maybe therefore you know the answer, but if you kind of play this back and you listen to the question, the answer is you don't bury the survivors anywhere because they're still alive. However, due to mental set, when you first hear this question, you get tricked and you think that it's an issue of legal boundaries because I've told you, okay, we have two different nationalities here, you're going to international waters, and so your mental set is to approach this from the perspective of this is some sort of legal question, when in reality, it's just a question of, well, they're survivors, you don't need to actually bury them. All right, so that is one example of mental set. If I'm to give you the definition of it, it is a tendency to approach a problem in one particular way, often a way that has been successful in the past. Here I have a picture of a door because I think we can all understand a mental set from this perspective as well, especially when maybe you're younger. You have a lot of experience maybe opening doors by pushing on them. So your house door, your bedroom door, every door you seem to come in contact, you turn the knob and you push into it. And then all of a sudden you get to a door where you're supposed to pull on it, but you're used to approaching it from, no, I push the door in, so you go to open the door and you just run right into it because you actually have to pull the door open as opposed to push it. Sometimes you see people running into those motion sensor doors at like grocery stores. They're so used to those doors just opening for them, they're not prepared for it not to open at all, and so they go with the way that's successful in the past, and instead they bash themselves into the door. All right, second example of this lesson. This here is a decently famous psych experiment that they've presented to people, and you're told, all right, your task is to somehow tie these two strings together. The strings are long enough that they can be tied together successfully. However, your arms are not long enough to actually reach the string. So somehow you need to get these two strings to be tied together. Now, I'm not going to tell you the answer of how to do it. All I'm going to do is give you a bit of a hint, and that hint is that you need to be able to overcome functional fixedness. We've gone over functional fixedness in class before. It's the tendency to think of things only in terms of their usual functions, and it's usually an impediment to problem solving because it's one way that we tend to be fixated when we're faced with a problem. So looking at this scenario, you need to come up with some way to tie these two strings together successfully. If you think you have the answer or it's really driving you crazy, obviously you're welcome to email me or you can try to Google it. Good luck!